Welcome back to the creation process of V, a Unity space game. So let's go ahead and let me show you again where we were at. We had just added a lot of the asteroids and the planets and stuff, and we got our camera to be able to see as far as possible so we could see everything that was actually in the scene. What we were planning on doing for this video was to change the planets and the sun. So let's go ahead and get started. So I was messing with a couple of the different assets that I had gotten, and the Space Graphics Toolkit was definitely one that I wanted to be using for this. I don't want to be in featured, I don't want to be in basic packs. One of the cool things that they had here was star, and let's go ahead and go to that one so you can see what that looks like from the Space Graphics Toolkit. This is one of their example scenes, which that's a pretty cool star. Now, one of the problems that I actually noticed that they had with this was they didn't animate the light that was around it, and so we're actually going to be doing that once we insert this sun into our game. So let's go ahead and take the star, and I'm going to throw it in our prefabs area under planets. So let's go ahead and take the star here. Let's see, what else did they have here? They got backdrop, stars, clouds. We're not going to use any of those. We're just going to go ahead and use the star. So let's take the star and throw that into our prefab so we can use that into our game. And let's load up our game. Alright. So we're going to take that and we're going to put it where our other sun was. And let's go ahead and line everything up. I like to do everything from a top-down view because it allows you to go left and right a lot easier. Let's get to our star here. And it allows you to line things up much easier if you go from the top and the side views here. So there, it's in the place of where our other star was, so we can go ahead and get rid of that. Let's go to their planets, so we can select that star specifically. There it is. Was there anything else with this? Nope, just the light rebound, so we'll just go ahead and delete that. Now we have our own sun here, and I'm going to put our star into the planet section. Alright, now one of the things that we want to do with this star is we actually want to make it animated on the edges. So we're going to go into our star, and they have what's called prominence, and that's the outer edge of this sun. One of the things that they forgot to do was distort and detail, and they didn't put any textures there. So we're going to go ahead and type in prominence, and it's this prominence noise texture 2D. We're going to go ahead and add that, and the same thing on the bottom one. Okay, and when we're actually looking at this will actually start animating our star. One way we can actually look at that, let's go ahead and get our camera in our container. Let's go ahead and drag that back here so we can see it while we're playing the game, and we can see that animation happening. So we'll just put the ship back afterwards, but I just want to at least be able to show you this up close. So let's go ahead and hit play. There, we got a pretty interesting animation to our sun now. It kind of wiggles around, but one of the things I want to do, I want to make it a little bit brighter. So let's go ahead and do that by getting back into our prominence. And it's got the brightness setting here. So let's zoom in a bit and see how we got. See if that's a little bit better once we're actually in the game. One of the things I don't like is here on the edge, there's not a lot coming off of it, so it doesn't look natural. So let's go ahead and change the, let's see, and that's from this view here. As we can see down on the edge, it wasn't coming off very good. So we can change the seed here, and there's a random button. So let's change that, and that might be a little bit better. Let's check the top view too. Yeah, that's a lot better. It's coming off the sun a whole lot better. So let's go ahead and play the scene, see how it looks. Oh yeah, that's much better than what it was. So we'll go ahead and keep that one. And let's put the ship back where it was. So let's take our container and our camera, and we'll scroll it back over here. Put it back where it was, right next to our big ship. So that way we can go ahead and look at the sun from a distance, and you can still see the animations and everything from a distance too. Let's try to get a more clear view. And even off in the distance, you can still see it moving around. It's pretty cool. Alright. One of the things that I don't like is actually where the sun is located. And part of the issues of this is where our directional light is actually coming from. So let's see if I can get a better view here. Alright. Yep, let me turn it that way. Okay, so we got our directional light, which is way over here. It doesn't matter where you put it, it's all going to look the same because it's just a directional light. Well, that's not very realistic. So we're going to go ahead and take our directional light and we're going to put it onto point. That way, as we move our light, it comes from a direct source. Wherever that light is, that's where it'll be coming from. So that's a little bit more realistic for our sun. Let me actually rotate this so I can move it easier. Let's get a side view so I can make sure it's actually up and down. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and move it to where our sun is. There we go. But then we're going to actually take the directional light. I'm going to put it actually on the star. So when we move the star, that light comes with it. And we'll show that a little bit better here. Let's go to a top view. Scroll in here. Come off to the side a bit. That way when you see when we move our star, it's actually going to be directly where that light is. So I want our star a little bit overhead. And we're going to take the light and we're going to increase the intensity a bit. Make it a bit more realistic. Oh, I don't want to move just the light. I want to move the entire star. Alright, so let's put our star overhead. Actually, there we go. That'll be alright. So our stars up here, our planets are down here. I know that usually the star will be located on the same plane, roughly, as the planets in a natural solar system. But I just want to go ahead and do it up here for now. That way we still have our three-dimensional space, our three-dimensional space, and it'll still be within the area of being able to be seen. So there's our star. doesn't look too bad. And we still get some good lighting source here for all of our asteroids and planets and stuff. Alright. Now, the next thing I want to do is actually change out this this Earth-like planet. So let's go ahead and go back to our space. Let me actually save this scene. So when I come back to it, nothing will change. And our sun will still be the new sun that we placed. Go back to our Space Graphics Toolkit here. This one here. And we'll go to Packs, Basic Pack. This time we're going to use the terrestrial planet. So let's go ahead and open up that scene. And we can take a look at that and see what they have here. Alright, one of the things I like about the Space Graphics Toolkit is they actually put an atmosphere with these planets. So when you enter into the atmosphere, you won't be able to see the space anymore. All the stars go away and you're actually in the atmosphere. You can go right down to the planet. And then you can exit out of the planet and you can see it from there. You can kind of see the atmosphere on the edge here. We'll actually be changing this a little bit. We're going to have it make more of a mountain, more texture. Because right now it's still kind of flat. Let's see if I can make this look better. Alright, because we get down to our planet and it's still a bit flat here. There's not a lot going on texture-wise. It's still kind of more like the Polygon planet. And we want a bit more texture than that. So, let's go ahead and take the planet that we have here. Let's see. What kind of light do they have? They got the SGT light. An SGT light pointer on their star. Let's see if we don't actually need those or not. I may end up having to grab this light and replace it with our other one. But for now, let's go ahead and grab the planet. And we're going to move that to our assets. So we now have our, we'll recall this one. Terrestrial planet. So let's go ahead and go back to our other scene here. Don't save because I don't want to mess that one up. Alright, now we're going to be replacing it with this one here. So let's get our planets and our terrestrial planet. This one's quite a bit bigger than the other. Okay. So let me get this one removed here. We'll take that, delete that one. And we're going to get our terrestrial planet, move it back over a bit. Just try to get it a good area away from the asteroids. There, we'll just go ahead and put it right there. So this planet is quite a bit bigger. Let's actually take a look and see how the lighting source works for it. It's kind of hard to tell with those, so we're going to actually come over here. Check to see how well the lighting source is on this planet. It's actually quite a bit bigger than these other ones, which is nice though, because you can, one of the things that I actually plan on doing is trying to make this a real-time strategy game also. So you're going to be building bases and cities on these planets, and I want to have enough space where we can fit probably, maybe about 7 or 8 people's worth of structures on these planets. depending on how big they actually want to build their bases or cities. And so I want it to be able to hold enough for a good amount of people to actually be on these planets. So let's see if we can get to the atmosphere here. I think one of the things that I'm seeing right now is that's a problem is, like I was thinking, our light source. Because I don't think that this other light source is actually going to show our atmosphere. The light just isn't strong enough, or it's because it doesn't have that SGT light setting. So alright, let's go ahead and end that. And then let's go back to Space Graphics Toolkit. Packs, basic pack. Let's save this scene. Let's go back to our terrestrial planet, and then I'm going to grab their light because it's got a few extra settings in here. The SGT light pointer and the SGT light. They're actually using a directional, which we can change that to again, but let's take that into prefabs. I'm just going to put it in here with our planets. That way I at least know where it's at. Let's see, assets. And let's go back to our scene. Alright, let's see our star here. Go to our environment, planets, star. And we're going to be replacing this directional light with our new one. So let's get our light here. Let's put it right here. Alright, and then we're actually going to be putting it as a point again. And we're going to get rid of our other directional light. Let's see the range of this one. Alright, let's increase the range so it covers all of our asteroids and everything here. Increase the intensity here. There we go. That should actually work a lot better. So now our actual Earth-like planet here also has some better lighting to it, and you can tell that when you get up to it. And so let's go ahead and do the play and check it out. It looks a lot better from a distance too. So let's go ahead and get over to our planet and check out the atmosphere from here. I know I'm doing this a lot. I just want to make sure things are working. That's a lot of what game building actually is. You're just going in, testing, making sure it works properly, and then it's a lot of back and forth. Adjust something slightly, and then go back and play a test again. But I'm just wanting to show you the actual power of some of these assets that you have access to. And I know some of them are paid assets, but you can actually do stuff like this without the paid assets too. So let's go ahead and get up to our planet, get into the atmosphere. So there's our sun. Let's get into the daytime area of our planet, entering the atmosphere without any loading screens. There we go. And that light source coming from our sun, might have to change the size of that to actually be the size of what the sun is, but that's pretty cool. So we have our planet. Alright, now let's go ahead and change the planet a little bit. We're going to take our terrestrial planet. And like I said, I want it to have a little bit more texture to it. So we're going to take the terrain, and they have the SGT terrain height map. And you can do displacement, which let's increase this a lot so you can actually see it in work here. Oh yeah, there's mountain ranges and there's a lot of texture to that planet. So let's just increase that to about 80. That way when we get to our planet, you know, there's going to be some mountains and everything like that. Alright. So, and then I'm going to be making our atmosphere slightly larger to be able to compensate for the heightened height map there. So we're going to take the height of our atmosphere, we're going to increase that, because I do want it to cover the entire planet here. Alright, so let's take, I'm actually going to put the ship a little bit closer to the planet so we can get to it much easier, just to test things out. Let me close these so I can find them easier. So we've got that in our container. Let's put them right here near our planet. So let's get to our planet here and see how much of a difference that made with the height map. And you can actually hit the planet too, so you can't just go through it all the time. And but now we got some good texture to our planet. I may actually increase the atmosphere a little bit more, because even once we start getting closer to the top of our mountains, you can kind of see through our space, and we don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and increase that atmosphere a little bit more here. Let's see how that is. And you can kind of see the atmosphere of our planet here. And in the bottom here, during the night, you shouldn't have much of any atmosphere at all. You should be able to see into the space without any problems. You definitely got to fix that sun lighting. But that looks pretty good to me. I can adjust things and change things a little bit more, because I don't really want to see the planets and everything in the asteroids from that distance. Not while I'm so close to the planet. I want all those to go away, but I can fix that later on. Then we go out of the atmosphere and into space, and we can go travel around and explore some more. So that's pretty cool. We got a new planet. And then let's actually put some water onto our planet, though. They have the water level. So let's actually change that to 1. Okay, that turns everything into water. I don't want to do that. So let's do 0.3. See what that does here. Okay. So I put a big portion of water on there. I don't know if I want it to be that much, so let's do 0.1. That way we still got some bodies of water, but we've also got some land mass there too. Let me lower down that atmosphere a bit, because that's still pretty high. I think it's the inner fog that you would want to increase, so when you get down to the atmosphere you won't be able to see the asteroids and planets around. But I'll mess with that a little bit later on and find out for sure. Let's go check it out with the water here. So with these, unfortunately, what I did find out before was that once you add the water, it's not actual water. It's got a nice sheen to it, reflecting the sun and everything, but it's not actual water. You wouldn't be able to go into the water and swim. So that's something that we're going to need to try to fix at some point and learn how to do. But other than that, we've got our bodies of water that come up to the landmass. So we have an actual planet here. That's cool. Alright. I think that's it for this video. I'm going to go ahead and start working on some of the other planets and replacing those. Let's say, for instance, there's this one over here with the rings on it. From the look of it, it is a terrestrial planet with rings. So we're going to go back to our Space Graphics Toolkit, packs, basic pack. This one here has terrestrial planet plus ring. And we're going to take a look at that, just see what it looks like here real quick. So I'm going to be taking this planet here and replacing our other one with it. It's got some real cool effects where it displaces the light with the rings. So depending on where you are, according to the sun, it will change where that light displacement is, as you can see down here. So the rings actually work with the sun. Let's see. So let's take it over here and you can see the light. There we go. That's a much better preview of that light displacement with the rings. And then we'll have our terrestrial planet with rings. So we're going to take that and save a prefab of that into our folder and get that put into our game scene.